Shalom and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is Meditation and Mindfulness with Rabbi Adam Kligfeld.
Hello and good morning to those who are here in my office at Temple Beth Am. Hello to those who are joining on Zoom. Hello to anyone who's watching live on Facebook and anyone who's listening to this whenever you're listening to it via the Temple Beth Am podcast series. It's Friday morning. Another week has gone by. Another opportunity for us to gather ourselves, be with one another, and also be with ourselves in an intimate way. Right? Meditation in a group is always about half-half. You're doing it with other people, and it's a shared experience. But when you close your eyes, it's only you. Right? No one can peer in. No one knows what is or is not happening inside there. Sometimes you don't even know until it's over. In the Taste of Torah that I wrote for this week that'll be published soon, I use a comment by the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Chassidut, on a part of Parshat Yitro that doesn't get a lot of attention. The part of Parshat Yitro that gets the most attention is the Ten Commandments. The part of Parshat Yitro that gets the second most attention is the interaction between Moses and Yitro, the father-in-law, and his instructions to Moses to delegate better. Right? So that's a well-known part of it. But after the Ten Commandments in Revelation, there's a paragraph and a half that ends Parshat Yitro, and it deals with rules that we might consider to be not relevant to our lives. How to build an altar. And when you're building an altar with stones, lo tivneh oto eten gazit. Don't build your altar with hewn stone. They need to be rough stones. It also says that you should not build stairs up to the altar. It should be a ramp. Some people think that it has to do with modesty, imagining the ancient priests wearing something akin to a kilt, and a ramp is going to protect the visuals from down below better than stairs. But you can't hew a stone to make an altar. What's that about? Right? I can assure you, as I wrote in the Taste of Torah, that there are many stones that were built to build this building that were shaped, right? We didn't just take them from a quarry. Why could that be significant? The Baal Shem Tov, I don't know that he disputes that the law has practical application when building an altar, although by the time he's writing in the beginning of the Hasidic era, we're not building altars anymore, right? But Hasidic interpretation of the Torah are always looking for something personal, spiritual, and deep. And what he says is the altar at which you worship should be a representation of the worshiper, or vice versa. The worshiper should somehow reflect the place that is worshipped. And so what does it mean to say that you shouldn't cut and hew and shape stones when you're building an altar? Lest you think that you need to be a perfectly sculpted stone, a perfectly sculpted person to come and worship on this altar. You're rough. We're all rough. We build this altar out of what is real, because you're supposed to bring to prayer what is real. We build this altar out of a complete stone, and you bring to prayer your complete self, your complete, beautiful, and flawed self. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be a part of a process trying to improve ourselves and efface our mistakes. But we will never pray complete. And if we're waiting to be complete before we pray, we won't pray. And so he reads that as an illusion coming out of this text. The very place where you're standing is on some level as rough and as not perfected as you are. Come. This is where you belong. So the transition from that to a meditative place, because we're not involved in tefillah in this moment. This doesn't mean that you can't be thinking about prayer, but many of us just finished prayer and now we're in a different space, is what does it mean to be with yourself and meditate inside yourself with the entirety of yourself, turning off the self-critical voice, turning off the inner monologue, and allowing everything that is you right now all of it, to be present, to be embraced, to be loved, to be accepted. If you can do that in a meditative zone, there might be an experience of fullness that does not suggest you don't work on yourself, but it suggests a fullness and a completion even now. You are complete even when you're incomplete. That's a paradox. That's okay. Our tradition likes paradoxes. So with that in mind, I invite you to close your eye. And we'll start with our bodies and then move to ourselves. You can't possibly have consciousness about every part of your body simultaneously. But see if you can use your mind to connect with every extremity, to see and to love every part. Imagine every square millimeter on and within your body as being no less essential than any other. Especially the parts you might not like. What does it mean to embrace your body without hewing it, cutting it, crafting it, curating it, just as it is? Can you come to some greater reverence or awe for this container of your spirit? Breathe into that for a few moments. And anytime you feel your mind straying or rejecting the idea, force it in the other direction. Stay with it. Stay with you. All of you. And now that you have explored and toured and welcomed entirety of your body with no judgment. Move from physical to spiritual, from material to ethereal, and go on a similar journey of the self, the personhood, all of you. Go to places that literally no one else alive exists. The privacies of the private. The most closely guarded chambers. The exquisite pieces of you that no one might ever know. The darknesses of which you are normally ashamed. Just for now. Stop shaping that stone. Just for this moment. Bring yourself to the altar as you are. Be the altar. Rough, unhewn, as you actually are. turn to the world of compartmentalization, justification, and struggle. We'll share the closing meditation prayer, and we'll say it 3 times. May we and all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we and all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we and all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. I say to you all, Shalom, Namaste, Shabbat Shalom. Next week we'll have this as normal. On my sabbatical, Rabbi Chorny is going to be holding down the slot most weeks. Sometimes Rabbi Shapiro. I think there's a separate text chat that she sometimes communicates in. So the default will be that there'll be a meditation on Fridays, but it'll depend on a particular schedule.
You have been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast site or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Temple Beth Am Los Angeles, go to tbala.org.